Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Elevate Your Life and Business. My name is Marie, and on this channel, I share with you guys my life experiences and wisdom that I've gained, as well as I am documenting my entrepreneur journey and trying to break out of my 9 to 5 and finding financial freedom where I can help myself and others. And so, on today's topic is that life is working for you. This one was pretty crucial. This one is very important and it turned my world upside down. I'm hoping it'll do the same for you. So, this is one of those bigger tips that I'm going to be sharing with you guys on this video. And it's really pivotal because life can be hard at times, right? There's no joke about it. Like, we all have our challenges, we all have things that happen to us. Unfortunately, horrible, awful things happen: disease, sickness, death, challenges in jobs, relationships, family members. Things happen. And I just want to tell you that things happen for a reason. It doesn't always make sense at the moment that that thing is happening. Why did this awful thing happen? Sometimes you got to get a year, 2 years, 5 years, a lifetime down the road to turn around and be like, oh, that was supposed to happen. If I didn't leave that person, I was never going to find the partner that was destined for me in this lifetime. Crap. Holy smokes. That job that, wasn't working out, that I left when I didn't really want to, that was supposed to happen because otherwise I would have missed out on this opportunity. Life is happening for you is pivotal because when you say that life is happening for you, you are then taking responsibility for your life rather than being life is happening against you. Oh my God, this horrible thing happened. Oh, why me? Why me? Do you hear it? Can you guess? Do you hear like the victimization of, oh, this horrible thing happened and then this happened and then my day's been miserable? See how life is against you at that point? Life is against you because X, Y, and Z happened, and you're like, there's nothing I can do about it. It's miserable. And in doing so, you can sink deeper into this hole of like darkness and despair. And it's just like, why? Why do I have two parents, not one, but two, that are darkness and voids and unhealthy, toxic people? Why did I get not one, but two? Versus the narrative of, I had two challenging parents because what is coming for me, what life is expecting of me, is so big that I needed to get strong. That I needed to go from victim to victor. Do you feel the difference? Like, even just talking about it, even just hearing me through this video, can you feel the difference between life is happening against me? This thing happened. It started raining. And then I tripped and I fell. And then the wind blew my papers out of my hand. Versus it started raining and it was just this beautiful thing because we haven't had rain in a couple weeks. And then these papers fell out of my hand. But, I realized that there was actually something that I had missed on that paper. So thank God that happened or I would never have seen it. Life is happening to you or life is happening for you. Which one works best for you? Who do you want to be? The person that says these evil, awful, dark, horrific things happen to me? Or it's a purpose, a plan. There is a reason why. I am not being set down. I am being set up. Me personally, to each their own, we all have to make this choice on our own. And it's a choice that sometimes you got to make over and over and over because it never just happens once. Challenges don't just happen the same over and over. You get different challenges. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's many. You never know how many you're going to get sometimes. But life is happening for you. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to guide you a little bit. I'm going to guide you a little bit on this one, okay? Because it's deep. It's really deep, especially when I'm talking about my parents, because I will freely admit that when it comes to the parents, it wasn't just a week or two. There was a couple of years where I'm like, why me? Why me? What the hell did I do to deserve this? Why is life so freaking hard? Why is it so unfair? But I will tell you, I will tell you, I will tell you, I will tell you that even though these awful things happen, even though these challenges hit us in the face and they just want to smack us down to the ground, that when life is happening for you, doors open that you never thought would open before. Things are set in motion for a reason. These horrible, awful things that break your heart, that put your soul on fire, are supposed to happen for a reason, because without challenges, without pain, there is no growth. And there is no motivator that I have found, and I've done quite a bit of research, and I've lived through quite a bit. There is no motivator stronger than pain. Pleasure's great. We all like our pleasures. But are you going to run faster to pleasure, or are you going to run faster away from the tiger that wants to eat you? Tiger with saber-toothed teeth, that might be really painful if they start gnawing on you. Or that pleasure that you've been chasing. Which one are you going to run quickest to or from? It's going to be the pain. So there's always a lesson in the pain. Sometimes you just got to get through it first so that you can look back and be like, oh, that was the lesson. But life is happening for you. And if life is happening for you, that thing that popped up. When I was talking about my parents, is there a moment that popped up for you? I'm sure there is. I'm sure you're thinking about it right now. That god awful, horrible thing that you just were like, I don't know how I survived that. Or maybe I didn't come through that completely whole by the end of it. That thing that happened to you, that horrible, awful thing. I gotta tell you, mine was pretty bad and awful. That thing that happened to you. What if it was about to what if instead of being the victim of this happened to me, what if it happened for me? It happened for me. Because this thing that happened, I wouldn't be who I am without it. This thing that I went through, this experience that I had, was necessary to set me on my path, to be more, to help more. Excuse me. That's what you get when you do a bunch of videos back to back. Learning as I'm going on the YouTube thing, just throwing it out there. Right. So, in any case, this life is happening for you, not to you. So, if life is happening for you, there's a couple things that you can take away from that. We can break that down even a little bit more. And I find that when you say life is happening to you, I personally think it breaks down into one of two things. The first is that it happened to you for the path that you were on. Okay, so you just had a horrible relationship, and it was a horrible relationship. They abused you, or they took you for granted, whatever, insert X, Y, and Z. You left this relationship because of X, Y, and Z. That happened because if you were still with this person, the person that's going to bring you peace, the person that's going to elevate you, that's going to make your life better, that's going to encourage you to show up every day a little bit better, you would have missed them entirely if you were still in that relationship. That heartache, the crying and the pain and the gallon of ice cream that you had because of this breakup was necessary so that you could be on the path and have the purpose that you're supposed to. Now, there's one more thing. So there's two parts, right? I was saying there's two parts. Well, here's the second part. these horrible, awful challenges, things that happen to us. Life is happening for us, not to us. So through that lens, I think there's one more thing you can take away. It's not just the purpose and the path that you're on. So I'm not just talking about the future. I also think that we go through these things to learn a valuable lesson. Some of the biggest lessons I've learned have been through the most challenging and most difficult experiences I have had. They're opportunities to learn and grow or shrink and die. You can either crawl in from the pain or you can go with it and flow with it and learn something from it. Everyone is themselves, different pains, different reactions, different journeys, different experiences. So take what resonates with you. Take what fills your cup. And just remember that life is happening for you and not against you. And so that awful thing that happened, it was supposed to happen, because if I had not gone through the experiences that I went through, I would not be on this entrepreneurial journey. I still would have been doing, I still would have been, I think, happy with the 9 to 5 because I didn't know any better. But now I do. I know better. And I learned it really, really painfully, but I learned it. Isn't that the point? To learn? Isn't that the whole thing about life, is to learn and grow? And that hopefully by the time that you're done with this lifetime, hopefully hopefully you have no regrets, and hopefully you have more than a few lessons, not only for yourself and your soul, but for the souls that come after you, and either kids, grandkids, or the people around you. So that maybe you have some stories that can make their life a little bit easier. And isn't technology beautiful? That I can hopefully, and honestly, one of the reasons why I do this podcast in general, I don't know if I ever said that before. One of the reasons why I do this podcast is I'm trying to reach, honestly, me 10 years ago. If I could have reached me 10 years ago, and if I had had the knowledge I had now, the places I would be and the person I would be sooner, quicker, the more people that I could have helped if I had gotten this information faster. And so that's why I'm doing these videos, to try and help. And that way, life is happening for me. Because if I didn't have these experiences, and I've kind of been through it all, excuse me, kind of got my hands on I've lived a few lifetimes, more than a few lifetimes in this one mortal existence. Let's just put it that way. My creator has some very big plans for me, because I've seen to have gone through hell and high water more than a few times. More than a few times. And I could be like, why me? What's wrong with me? Why do these horrible, awful things happen to me? But that doesn't suit my story. And I'm the author of my own story, the thing that I like to write, and the life that is Marie. I went through these horrible things so I could pass them on. I went through these horrible things so I can try and change one life. If one person takes this video and if it makes their life a little bit better, well, then I've done something right. And so that's why I'm doing these videos, to try and help by sharing what I've gone through. Now, look, what happens to me, it might not correlate with everyone. I'm not a guru. I'm not a savior. Do not put me on a pedestal. I'm going to say that now, because you never know. I'm just me. But I try to show up to be the best version of me every day. And the key factor, or one of the key factors, one of the hinges that opened the door to a better life is happening for me, not against me, for me. And it changes everything. If you let it, if you let that verse, life is happening for me, it can totally change your whole world and universe. And I want to tell you something too. It can also change the people around you as well. By watching you and seeing how you take on these challenges, and rather than being the victim, you will find that you will be the victor in whatever it is you set your mind to. Whatever it is you want to do, life is happening for me. This is a purpose. There's a reason behind this. I might not understand that reason or purpose. It might not be clear yet. It might not ever be clear to me in this lifetime. But it is a lesson that I needed to learn. It is an experience that I had to have. in order to be guided into the person and the thing and to do what I needed to do. And so I just wanted to share that with you on this quick video here, is that one of the pivotal things that can change your world if you let it is that life is happening for you. Do not be a victim. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, but Marie, I know. Believe me, I know that life is challenging and not always easy or kind. I get it. I get it more than most. But there are no buts. Life is happening for you. These horrible, horrible things that you experience or go through are meant to be. Because without them, there's no growth. And without them, you can't show up to be the best version of yourself. And without them, you can't learn what you're supposed to learn in this lifetime. So I hope this helps. I hope that this has changed your world like it changed mine, because it truly is revolutionary. And that one little phrase, can change everything. It simply depends on the lens that you use to look through the world. And I'm going to leave you with that and let that sit. And I hope that this helps. And I hope that you go ahead and take a moment to like and subscribe so you don't miss these pearls of wisdom that I give to you. And as always, it's time to elevate. See you guys in the next video.